Conflict is a sign of ignorance.
What causes conflict? Ignorance. If you have conflict with anyone, it is a sign of your own weakness. People are not at fault. They never cause differences of opinions. The differences in opinion are your own fault. If someone clashes with you on purpose, you should ask for his or her forgiveness. Where there is a conflict, it is your own fault.
Clashes diminish spiritual energy.
If there is anything that totally depletes spiritual energy, it is conflict. If you become involved in a fight, you are done for. If someone tries to provoke you, you should restrain yourself. There should not be any conflict. Avoid conflict at any cost, even at the cost of your own life. One can attain liberation only if there is no clash. If you learn to avoid getting into conflict with anyone, you don't even need a guru or any other intermediary. In 1 or 2 lifetimes, you will attain liberation. When one decides and sustains a strong resolve that he does not want to be involved in any friction with others, it is the beginning of right belief, samkit. In the past life, all the energy that you had lost because of clashes is now coming back to you. Beware to not create any new clashes, or else your energies, even those you have just acquired, will be lost again. However, in the absence of clash, they will increase continuously. It is because of revenge that there is clash in this world. The root cause of this world is vengeance. He who has stopped his vengeance and clash is liberated. Love has no obstacle. When hostility and enmity go away, love prevails.
Common sense, everywhere applicable.
If someone tries to clash with you, but you do not clash with them, then common sense will arise. You will lose your common sense if you clash with them. There should be no friction from your end. Common sense arises from another person's friction with you. The strength of the soul is such that it will show you how to conduct yourself during times of friction. Once it is shown, this knowledge will never leave you. This way, you will acquire more common sense. To think negatively about a wall would bring some harm upon you, because the loss will only be one-sided, whereas even a single negative thought towards a living being is very detrimental. Losses will be encountered on both sides. But if we do pratikraman afterwards, the faults will be erased. Therefore, wherever there is friction, do pratikraman so it comes to an end. For those who do not clash with anybody, I guarantee they will attain liberation, moksha, in 3 lifetimes. If you clash, you must do pratikraman. All those clashes will continue as long as sexual relations continue. Sex is the root cause of clashes. He who conquers sexual instincts conquers all. Such a man impresses all who see him.
Whatever has happened is justice. Nature is always just.
Nature is always just. Not even for a fraction of a moment has it been unjust. Justice that prevails in law courts may be unjust at times, but nature's justice is always exact. If you accept nature's justice and understand that whatever has happened is justice, you will attain liberation. If you question nature's justice, you will invite puzzles and suffering. To believe that nature is always just is called Jnana, real knowledge. To understand things as they are is Jnana itself, and not to understand things as they are is ignorance, Ajnana. Wars, conflicts, and dissension in the world are a result of people's pursuit of justice. The world is entirely in the form of justice. It is futile to look for your own justice in it. Everything that has happened and everything that is happening is itself justice. In their search for justice, people have established laws and courts, but they are foolish to assume that justice is found in them. One should simply see what happens. That is justice. Justice and injustice are the effects of the accounts from our previous life, but people attempt to link their idea of justice with the account of this life, and in doing so, they end up in the courts and exhaust themselves. If you insult someone, and they in anger insult you back several times, you may consider it unjust, but you should regard it as a settlement of your past account. Nature brings all the evidences together in order to settle a past account. If a woman keeps antagonizing her husband, even then it is nature's justice. The woman herself is bad, but she is under the impression that it is her husband who is bad. Nevertheless, the entire situation is nature's justice. The hard-earned money is of this life, but there is also the account of the past life. One has pending accounts. Without such accounts, nothing can be taken away from him. No one has the power to take anything away, and if anything is taken away, it is because of previous accounts. No such person is born in this world that is able to do any harm to anyone. Nature is regulating this precisely.
From the effects, one can determine the cause.
All this is a result, just like the results of an examination. If you score 95% in mathematics and 25% in English, would you not be able to deduce from these results where you made mistakes? Likewise, in life, we can determine from the effect or outcome of things what the causes were for our mistakes. The results reflect our past causes. All the events that come together are results, and based on the results, we can deduce the cause behind them. A thorn is lying upright on a roadside where many people walk every day. Many pedestrians use this path, but the thorn does not hurt them. One day, you hear someone yelling, "Thief! Thief!" You are barefoot, and you run outside to see what is happening, and accidentally step on the thorn. This happens because of your account. If someone hurts you, you should accept it and credit it to your account. You only need to credit that which you have given out. Nature's law prevents one person from hurting another without a cause. There have to be causes behind this. So credit whatever comes your way.
What is God's place like?
God is neither justice nor injustice. His language is that no living being should suffer. Justice and injustice only exist in the human language. A thief believes in stealing as a way of life. A philanthropist believes in giving to charity. All this is the language of man, not God. Nothing like this exists with God. In God's world, there is only this much. One should not inflict pain on any living being. This is our only principle.
One's own mistakes make one see injustice.
Man sees the world as unjust because of his own faults. The world has never been unjust, not even for a second. It is always completely and absolutely just. Justice can fluctuate in the courts of law. One can be proven wrong, but the justice of nature is constant. This justice does not change even for a second. If there were injustice, no one would be able to attain liberation. People ask, why is it that even good people encounter difficulties? In reality, no one is able to cause difficulties for them. As long as you do not interfere, nothing will interfere with you. There is no one who has the power to do so. All these problems exist because of your own meddling.
The world is in the form of justice.
This world is not an illusion. This world is in the form of justice. Never has nature allowed any injustice to prevail. Where nature causes a man to be slaughtered or an accident to take place, it is all justice. Nature has never stepped out of the realms of justice. It is because of one's lack of understanding that everything is misinterpreted. People do not know how to live life well. They experience nothing but worries. Whatever happens, one should accept it as justice. If you understand and accept that whatever happens is justice, you will sail through life unhindered. In this world, injustice does not exist even momentarily. Whatever has happened is justice. It is your intellect that traps you and makes you question the justice of nature, which is all-encompassing. The justice through the intellect is limited. I am telling you a fundamental thing about nature. You should get separated from your intellect because it is the intellect that entangles you. Once you understand this law of nature, you should not listen to what your intellect tells you. Mistakes are to be found in the law courts, but nature's justice is exact. Our relentless search for justice has exhausted us. A person always asks, what fault of his it was to deserve such bad treatment from others? When you look for justice in such situations, you suffer and pay the price. So do not look for justice. I have discovered the simple and plain fact. It is in the pursuit for justice that people have been scarred. Even after seeking justice, the results remain the same. Why not accept and understand this from the very beginning? This is all interference of the ego.
The path of liberation is the end of all questions.
Whenever the intellect seeks justice, just say, whatever has happened is justice. The intellect will look for justice that the other person is inferior to me, and he does not keep respect. If he keeps respect, that is also a justice, and if he does not, then that is also a justice. The intellect will not have any questions as it becomes free from disputes. When we look for justice, the questions keep increasing. Nature's justice eliminates all questions. Whatever has happened and whatever is happening is justice. And still, if 5 arbitrators go against a person who does not accept their verdict, then his questions and suffering will keep on increasing. He will not accept their justice or anyone else's. This way, his problems keep on increasing. He entangles himself further and further in vain and suffers a great deal. Instead, he should accept what happens as justice from the beginning. Nature always prevails when it comes to matters of justice. It is constantly being just. However, it can never give any proof of this. Only the Jnani Purush can give you proof of how it is just. The Jnani Purush can convince you, and once you are convinced, your work is done. When all your questions are solved, you are free.